Today, we're going to cut straight to the chase, really. For anyone wanting to, speak and understand English more naturally, forget the dusty textbooks, the grammar grids, all that stuff.
Mhm.
We're looking at how to weave English, well, seamlessly into your daily life.
Right.
Our goal for you is to get you thinking and speaking in English without that constant mental translation happening.
Yeah, the translation step can be exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And so often that journey to fluency feels like this huge academic marathon, doesn't it?
Totally.
What we're uncovering today is how to shift that whole perspective, making English less of a subject to study and more, well, more like a language you just live with.
And to guide us, we've got some great insights from the Fluent Life podcast. There was a conversation with the host, Emma, and an English language coach, Ryan.
Ah, yes. Good stuff there.
Yeah. So our mission in this deep dive is basically to pull out the really practical, actionable steps from what they talked about, give you a clear roadmap, sort of, to integrate this natural English learning into your everyday routine.
Makes sense.
Okay, so let's dive in. The first big idea, and Ryan really stressed this, was a fundamental mindset shift, like moving away from scheduling rigid study time.
Right. And instead,
Just making English a constant presence, part of your day.
this is really where it all starts, isn't it? If you think back to how you learned your first language, it wasn't through like deliberate study sessions, not at first anyway. It was constant exposure, just hearing it all around you.
Yeah, exactly.
And this approach tries to tap into that same kind of natural absorption. It's about creating an environment where your brain is just constantly kind of bumping into the language, even passively.
Right. And Ryan gave some really concrete examples of this. Simple things, like changing the language settings on your phone to English.
Oh, yeah, good one.
Or tuning into English music, watching videos, YouTube, Netflix, whatever. He even mentioned if you happen to be somewhere English is spoken, just listen.
Just eavesdrop.
Well, yeah. Kind of actively listening to the everyday conversations around you. It's just making the language a consistent part of your sensory input.
And what's really interesting there is the power of that background noise, that background exposure. It's like planting seeds, maybe, in your subconscious.
I like that analogy.
You might not see growth right away, but all these little encounters with English sounds, rhythms, common phrases, they build this strong, almost intuitive foundation.
Which then makes the more focused stuff much more effective later on.
Exactly.
Okay, which leads us nicely into daily listening practice. Ryan broke this down really helpfully into 3 levels.
3 levels, okay.
First, there's passive listening. That's what we just talked about, right? Having English audio on in the background while you do other things.
Podcasts, music, movies in the background.
Then there's active listening. This is where you really focus maybe on shorter clips. You pause, try to understand specific bits, maybe repeat some phrases out loud, note down words.
So more intentional.
Yeah, much more focused. And the third level is shadowing.
Ah, shadowing. Now, this is a really powerful technique. It can feel a bit weird at first, though.
How so?
Well, imagine you're literally being an echo. You pick a short bit of audio or video, maybe just a sentence or two,
Okay.
and you try to mimic the speaker's voice exactly, like their speed, their pauses, the way their voice goes up and down, the intonation.
Wow, okay.
Don't worry too much about getting every single word at the start. The main goal is just training your mouth and your ear to the actual sounds and rhythms of English.
Emma, the host on that podcast, she mentioned using news anchors for shadowing. I thought that was a great practical tip.
Yeah, they tend to speak clearly, good models. And Ryan stressed that even short bursts of shadowing, like maybe just 10 minutes a day, that can lead to noticeable improvements.
Only 10 minutes. That sounds manageable.
Totally. And crucially, he really highlighted choosing topics that you actually find interesting.
Right. Not just random stuff.
Exactly. If you love cooking, find English cooking shows. If you're into sports, listen to English sports commentary, making it enjoyable. That's absolutely key. It keeps you going.
It makes sense. If you're bored, you're just going to tune out.
Precisely. When you're genuinely engaged with the content, you're way more likely to stay focused and sort of absorb the language more naturally. Those memorable details, the phrases, they stick because they're linked to something you already care about.
So it stops feeling like a task and becomes, well, just interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Shifts it completely.
Okay, let's move on to speaking.
Yeah.
I know this can feel like maybe the biggest hurdle for a lot of you listening.
Definitely a common sticking point.
And a common reason people give for not practicing is, well, I don't have anyone to talk to.
The classic excuse, yeah.
But Ryan had a really clever workaround.
Yeah.
Self-talk.
Self-talk, like talking to yourself.
Yeah, simply describing your daily actions out loud. In English, like, okay, I'm making a cup of tea now, or, right, let's check my emails, just narrating your routine.
Okay. I can see how that might feel a little strange at first. Maybe a bit silly.
Maybe. But apparently, it's incredibly effective for building confidence and just practicing forming English sentences without the pressure of a real conversation.
Ah, so it's like a safe space. No fear of judgment.
Exactly. You can experiment with words, try out sentence structures.
Emma even shared a funny little anecdote about narrating her thoughts while she was out walking.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, just talking to herself about what she was seeing helps normalize it, I think.
for sure. And Ryan also suggested using voice recording apps on your phone, you know?
Oh, interesting. How would that work?
Just talk about your day, maybe try answering simple questions like, what did I learn today? In English. Just record it.
And then,
Then listen back. Listen to yourself. It helps you track your progress, notice areas you might want to improve, maybe your pronunciation or something.
okay. So recording yourself gives you that objective feedback. You can actually hear your own pacing, your pronunciation, maybe notice where you hesitated or got stuck translating.
Right. Gives you a clearer picture.
Yeah, I can see the value in that.
And the real power here, as Ryan emphasized, is just doing it consistently. Even just 10 or 15 minutes each day, whether it's the self-talk or the recording.
That little bit every day.
Yeah, it really helps build that natural fluency and gradually moves you away from constantly doing that mental translation before you speak.
That consistent daily practice.
Yeah,
It's like building linguistic muscle memory, you could call it.
good term.
It's not about having these massive, intense study sessions once a week, but making small, regular efforts that just add up over time. They compound.
Leading to real improvements in speaking naturally.
Definitely.
Okay, Ryan also shared some bonus tips, little things to help speed up this natural learning. One that really stood out to me was learning and repeating whole phrases, not just single words.
Chunks of language.
Exactly. So instead of just learning the word how, you learn the whole phrase, how's it going?
Mm-hmm.
He explained that's much closer to how native speakers actually talk, right?
Absolutely vital. If you want to sound more natural and fluent, learning these ready-made chunks or collocations is key. Native speakers don't usually build sentences word by word, like Lego blocks.
Right.
They pull out these prefabricated phrases. So internalizing those patterns makes your speech way more fluid, less hesitant.
Got it. He also had some great advice on using subtitles, like strategically.
Oh yeah, not just turning them on and leaving them.
No. He suggested watching with English subtitles first, maybe to help understand what's going on.
Okay, makes
But then challenge yourself. Watch the same thing again without the subtitles to really test if you understood just by listening.
that's clever. It bridges that gap, doesn't it,
Yeah,
between reading and just hearing. The subtitles give you support first.
like training wheels.
Yeah. And then taking them off forces your brain to rely more on your ears, helps train your listening skills properly.
Another really practical tip was to actively imitate real conversations, like from TV shows or interviews.
Just copy what they say.
Well, yes, but focus not just on the words, also on their style, their tone of voice, the rhythm of how they speak.
The prosody, the music of the language.
Exactly. By consciously imitating native speakers, you start to pick up those subtle things, those nuances. Makes your own English sound much more natural, less robotic.
Good point. It's more than just words and grammar.
And finally, Ryan highlighted something he called a game changer, which was
Actively trying to think in English throughout the day, even about simple stuff.
thinking in English. How does that work?
Well, instead of thinking in your native language and then translating, you try to form the thoughts directly in English. Oh, I need to buy milk. Or, that was an interesting meeting.
So you bypass the translation step altogether.
Exactly. It helps forge a more direct link between your thoughts and expressing them in English. It's a huge step towards speaking more automatically, more fluently, breaking that translation habit.
Wow, okay. That does sound like a game changer. It takes practice, I imagine.
Oh, for sure. But it's powerful.
So bringing all these great ideas together, Emma and Ryan actually outlined a really simple, manageable daily routine.
Okay, let's hear it. Something people can actually do.
Right, like 10 minutes in the morning, listen to a short English podcast or YouTube clip while you get ready your commute.
Easy enough.
Then, maybe 15 minutes in the afternoon, do some shadowing or that self-talk thing, maybe during a walk or a coffee break.
Okay, fitting it into existing breaks. Smart.
In the evening, perhaps 20 minutes, watch a bit of an English show, maybe with the subtitles on first, Pausing, repeating lines you like or find tricky.
Active viewing, not just passive.
Yeah. And finally, just 5 minutes before bed. Record a bit of self-talk about your day or quickly review, say, 3 new phrases you picked up.
So it's broken down into really small chunks.
Exactly. What makes it effective, they argued, is that it's accessible. It fits into a busy schedule.
And it mixes up the techniques we've talked about. Listening, shadowing, speaking, reviewing. Well-rounded.
Totally. It adds up to, what, about 45 minutes total? And it's all based around activities that can actually be, enjoyable, not just another chore.
Yeah, that sustainability factor is huge.
Definitely. Finally, as they were wrapping up, Ryan offered some really encouraging words for anyone feeling a bit stuck or frustrated.
Which happens to everyone learning a language.
Absolutely. He said, don't chase perfection, chase progress.
Like that.
Yeah. He emphasized that real fluency isn't about hitting some impossible, flawless standard. It's about becoming comfortable and just continuously improving your understanding and your ability to express yourself.
That is such a crucial message. Language learning, it's a journey, isn't it? Not some fixed destination you suddenly arrive at.
Never thought of it that way, but yeah.
Focusing on making consistent progress, even if the steps feel tiny sometimes, that's far more motivating and ultimately way more effective than aiming for some unrealistic perfection right at the beginning.
Absolutely. So the real key, it seems, is embracing that daily practice, actively making English a natural, sort of integral part of your everyday life.
Just weaving it in.
Yeah. So maybe here's a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. How might consistently doing these small daily habits actually fundamentally reshape your relationship with English over time? Could it truly transform it from something you just study into a natural tool you use kind of effortlessly to live, to connect with people, to experience the world?
It's a powerful thought, isn't it, that potential shift?
We certainly think it has the potential to do just that.